You know what's changed, Taurus? Your focus. Like what matters to you? I mean, I am not a person to judge whether it's healthy or not, but it honestly does appear to be extremely healthy, a healthy change because it's liberating. You know, as the upholder of traditions, I think that that's really what it is, isn't it? I think it's you getting closer to the organic source of the traditions, of what brought you to where you are in your current situation, of that mattering, that making so much more of a difference to you now. You know, whereas before maybe you were focused more on the self or the progress or the payoff, there is such now a focus on the spirituality, the meaning behind something, the way that things are done, the why I'm doing this. All of those questions matter to you now, and it's bringing you back to a sense of it's bringing you to a level that is deeper than you've gone before. And I think it's also helping you to know what you want better, that those questions, that anything that was confusing you or like tripping you up, delaying some sort of progress in your life, things are becoming so very clear. And you may have found yourself acting in ways that you are unexpected for yourself. It's almost like becoming aware of how much you've changed. Because I don't think you were, and very, very rarely do we understand how much we've changed, how deeply it's taken root inside of us. And I don't mean to imply that just because you're a Taurus, you're not a spiritual person, because that's not what I mean to imply. But what I mean to imply is that there has been a layer, a level of perspective, or you've intentionally taken a distance, a certain a level of perspective now, looking at yourself and your choices, and the recognition of why what I do matters, and why I want to have more of a connection to my choices moving forward. Because it's not about looking back or regretting the past. It's about learning from the past and realizing that I want to change and I want to do differently, because certain things mattered to me that I released and let go of because my attention and focus was in different places. And I want to get back to my sense of tradition. I want to get back to my sense of ancestry. I want to get back to my sense of spirituality. But the traditions that I mean aren't necessarily being, dressing a certain way, being conservative, whatever. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's sussing out the spirituality and always finding the connectivity to why I'm so lucky to be here. Like why I'm so lucky to be doing this right now, having these opportunities. And have I been making other people on the outside insisting that they focus on it? Because I'm tired of being overlooked as a spiritual creature. I mean, for fuck's sake, I'm represented by the Hierophant in the tarot. And arguably that's more about religion than spirituality, but there is a soulfulness there. And so there is this desire at this time to make people realize that there's more going on than the shallow self, than the look, than the outward display that I build very consciously. Like Taurus, everything that you see in a Taurus, like with Taurus, they have thought about it. They have put that clothes on or cut their hair that way because it's intent. There's intent there. There's nothing that's happening on accident. And even if, you know, they're not the flashiest dresser, it's then that is intended to tell you, let you know something about the Taurus's character, is that clothes aren't my thing. My thing is this. And you'll see very easily, if you know your Taurus, you'll see very easily where their focus is, because that's what will get the glamour. That's what will get like the pedestal. What really matters to them get that kind of attention, and they can easily let other things slip. Right now, it's that spirituality. It's that sense of self and self-expression. It's that I want to try, and I'm curious about doing things in another way. There's so much Aquarian energy happening because remember, Uranus, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So Venus is in Aquarius right now. So Venus is in Aquarius and Uranus is in Taurus. So the ruling energy for Aquarius is in Taurus. And then the ruling energy for Taurus is in Aquarius. It's literally like wife swap, right? You know, it's literally like getting a perspective in somebody else's life by putting their shoes on and by walking in their life and really starting to understand a whole different way of interacting with your world, people in it, a whole different way of showing them their importance to you, realizing and recognizing that you don't have to conform to the norm. And in some ways, conforming to the norm can sometimes keep you from your truth and keep you from, especially with Venus and Aquarius, keep you from people that really get you and really understand you, and relationships or friendships that you never would have predicted when you're surrounded by this Aquarian energy. And then this Aquarian energy is actually visiting your zodiac sign. This is just such a time when you are not questioning yourself, but questioning, why have I allowed myself to stay inside these walls for so long when there's so much outside? It's literally like Buddha's walk outside of his palace. That's a very spiritual reference, and you don't have to be Buddhist to understand it. I think it's a very iconic story, and it serves the purpose here. That sense of realizing that my tower and my castle and everything that I've built has gotten very, very comfortable for me, and I'm tired of being comfortable. The discomfort is what I crave now because I know there's something more outside and it's calling to me. And so if you find yourself right now wanting to experiment with things or try new things or talk to people or have experiences that are outside of your norm, just an FYI, every single one of those signs in Aquarius right now is sitting in the 9th house. That's where the house wheel is compared to the zodiac wheel. So all of those fucking 5 planets in Aquarius are sitting in what ends up to be your 9th house position, which is all about travel and going places. And I really do think it's more about it's like traveling inward. And if you're traveling actually somewhere, because 9th house is foreign travel, it's to take a journey inward. It's to explore and discover, help you externally by traveling somewhere, explore different aspects of yourself. And if I swear to God, if you're not doing this right now, Taurus, you're missing the point. And you really should get on it, because this is the time for you to dive deep and then take any of those actions externally that will help and encourage and supply what you need during that deep dive. Because that's right now, this is your chance to sort of be awakened. Really, focus is here. It's hovering over your reading. So there's just this level of now, it's almost like not necessarily get focused, or no, it's like you're regaining focus. It's like things are starting to become clearer for you. This has got nothing to do with things being foggy or murky or experimental, really, but more there's clarity here. There's understanding of why things matter to me. And there's a re-emergence of traditions that maybe you had forgotten. and let subside, but because maybe it didn't work for you. But it's almost like, I need to feel connected to my soul. I need to focus now on my enlightenment and my personal development. And I'm going to go inward, and I'm going to go deep, and I'm actually going to go back to specific traditions that really help to take me there. So if you've been curious about new religions, new spirituality, that aren't new, they're not new. There's not like this is avant-garde stuff, but they're new to you. And it's new that you would be open up to being curious about this stuff. Then please do yourself a favor. Let yourself do it. You know, it's almost like you're celebrating. You're celebrating your soul. You're celebrating these old traditions by connecting yourself more deeply to them and taking time to sort of, I really do feel like you need this time out. Like you almost need to go somewhere and do something different to release some stress and pressure that you've been feeling based on your expectations. There's a lot of expectations here. And that's exactly what I thought when I saw this. I was like, these are great expectations. There's a lot of pressure on this person. That almost their aspirations have become so formidable, it seems like they started to feel like obligations. And there's just a need to relieve that stress or that pressure. And that's why it's like, I gotta jump. I gotta bounce. I gotta get out of here. And you really, really should. You should let yourself. This could also be indicative of somebody who gives people hope, like a leader that offers hope. And so, and that could be too, a leader that offers hope, somebody that is looked up to, or somebody that you look up to that gives you hope, and finding ways to connect more deeply to this person or this person's purpose so that you feel connected to a purpose. Because there is sort of right now this questioning of what is my purpose and why do I serve the purposes that I serve, and does it still serve me to serve these purposes that I serve? Like, all of these things are really wonderful questions for you right now, and they may be making you feel like, wow, this is coming out of the blue, but this is such a wonderful time to actually have these internal dialogues with yourself. Speak with love. Interesting, right? Tenderness, kindness. This is a sense of openness to people that maybe you had not been introduced to before, or new people, an openness to new people that maybe you never experienced, or being willing to listen to their stories and understand their side of things. Lots of courage that it takes to basically something that's been very formidable to you, very frightening, almost like you couldn't ever stand up to it, or there was like it was not passable, right? It was an impasse. It was like a blockage. You are not afraid. You're not afraid of that monster in front of you anymore, which was basically your pressures on yourself. And then love your body is here. I almost see you like going on this international tour to realize that maybe the country that you grew up in isn't for you. And if they're not going to get your beauty, then you're going to go find the place where people do get your beauty. It's like waking up to the fact that if people don't treat you, waking up to the fact that there's not only one perspective on beauty, there's not only one perspective on relationships or attraction. There's not really only one way to fall in love or one reason to fall in love. There are many different reasons that work for many different people in many different cultures, many different regions, and many different just experiences in life. And there's almost a sense of realizing I don't have to change myself. I just have to change the people that I'm choosing to be around, or what I'm choosing to believe about myself. Huge revelation. Work through your fears is here. Scorpionic energy, being able to release and let go of those things. Now the moon is in Scorpio right now, Taurus. So it is really encouraging us to look our fears in the eye, and help us understand, even if we were afraid of ourselves, we did something that we felt shame of, or not necessarily shame, but just regret. It's being able to look at it and let it go and release it, because honestly, there's something in your life that's more important than the fear that's getting in your way of it. So this is that time to really be brave. Be brave. There's so much courage right now in you. And but I said it's a courage. It's not like a, maybe there is in some of you, but I think it's more a spiritual courage. The energy is gaining momentum. It's almost like it's like you feel the strength inside of you now. Like you can feel it, like they're deep inside your bones, Taurus. There's just this, yeah, I understand it. I get it. I have the energy to face my fears now. I have the courage inside of me. And then I get these two cards, which have Virgo energy and Capricorn energy. And you're Taurus. So this is definitely like pragmatic energy. This is earth energy, but it's like the unspoken terms. It's like learning about other people and understanding who they are to understand who you are through your relationship with them. That's what I'm talking about. Because you'll see the missing one is Taurus. It's the only earth sign that's not represented here. But it's like that's how you're starting to learn about yourself. You're starting to be able to wake up and see other people's perspective on you. And you're not afraid at this point to understand and know what they think about you. Maybe that would have crushed you in the past. Maybe it would have incited your defensiveness in the past. But now there's a real curiosity to see you from their perspective. And maybe people are opening up about their perspectives about you. So this is Virgo energy. It's watchful, it's steadfast, but it's very articulate and it's very detailed. And it's going to throw back those details at you that may be irritating and annoying. And then there's Capricorn energy. Like desiring or greedy or not necessarily, yeah, avarice. It's like I want it, I want this, and seeing like, do I behave that way? Do I give off those energies? And when I do, how do I make people feel? And how are they making me feel? It's almost like experiencing something to become more compassionate and more empathetic. Like putting yourself into those uncomfortable situations to let kind of yourself know how you want to know your impact on others. That's your deep dive. It's really important for you. And the only way you're going to do that is to put yourself in their shoes and listen to their stories and maybe even listen to their criticisms. New beginning is here. So liberating yourself from the ties of the past, those expectations of the past, what you felt you had to live up to. This is a sense of you're finally being able to release all of those, I think it's fears, right? Fears of not being good enough. Fears of never being able to live up to somebody else's expectations, or never being able to, never being good enough. It's almost like all these pressures that were in your head, asking where do they actually come from? Because it's not external anymore. They're not coming outside of you, coming from the outside of you. They're coming from the inside of you. And that's why there's a need for like spiritual cleansing and a desire to get more spiritual, to understand the self better and to liberate yourself from any kind of self-defeating beliefs that make you think, I really think it has to do with, they make you think I can't listen to people's criticism, or I can't, I don't want, I'm ignoring it, or listening to I'm getting somebody else's perspective, but especially somebody else's perspective on you. Really interesting. I'm going to let me get your animal tarot cards, Taurus. Now, Taurus, if you are interested, there's always an extended link below. You can also subscribe directly to Vimeo so you get access to those extendeds like a day before they come out here. Also, please do like this video. If you like this video, be sure to like it. And then subscribe to the channel. As well, share this video on your social media platforms because that really helps the channel grow. And ring that bell so that you get notified. You put it on all notifications so you know when I upload all the videos. I upload about between 12 and 14 videos a week. And it's not just your sun sign that you watch. It's your rising and your moon and your sun sign, And then, of course, I have all the 12 zodiac signs. So you can go peek on in somebody else's energies as well. So I invite you to do that. I also invite you to join me over on Instagram, born_without_boundaries, where I go live Monday through Friday. I do a general reading over there, and I hope that you will join me. So let's get into your animal totem message. Your animal totem message. Your animal totem message. What your spirit guides want you to know. Interesting. Under here, there is this inability to trust and essentially like time to let go. You're holding on to something, holding on to a preconceived notion, and that's keeping you stuck. Preconceived notion of something that's just infecting you with hurt and sorrow, or it's holding you back. Scorpionic energy is usually something that is an extreme, or something that maybe you would have in some ways been ashamed of. A sense of opening yourself up, that's what's underlying this all. I think that's the catalyst to it. Take a leap of faith, but you didn't. There's a sense of stagnation. That's what I'm definitely getting. A sense of not wanting to hear, not wanting to look, not wanting to know, and not wanting to take a new chance. This is kind of in the past. So I think what you're confronting about yourself right now is maybe what your steadfastness, which could be one of your best qualities, maybe the downside to them and how you've gotten yourself stuck. There was definitely a lack of wanting to take a chance in the past. And this is boundaries, setting boundaries that are too thick and too heavy for yourself. They're not like healthy boundaries are boundaries that actually help to encourage your soul and your heart to live in a healthy place, not ones that put so much pressure on you that they start to make you implode. So this is a sense of the energy right now. It was just so thick with personal denials and personal restrictions, and you really wanting now to sort of break out from that. Yeah, like understand how the past is impacting your future, and understand that it's still hovering there, and recognizing it so that you don't repeat it. That's this energy. It's also revisiting it to finally put it to rest. Let's go here. Wow, co-create with spirit. So these aren't easy messages to hear, but ultimately they're messages that you needed to hear, because this is divine creation coming out, and it could have been some bad news or some, like I said, harsh criticism. This is almost like spirits getting in touch with you to let you know the truth. And sometimes if the truth is hard to hear, it's because you haven't been living your truth. Trust the great mystery. So this is a sense of, even if it doesn't sound right to me, even if it sounds off, I'm going to go with it because I know the source is correct. This is about trusting and finding faith, even in dark times. And then be playful. It's almost going to give you, it's almost like you can't understand how the roots growing deeper actually give you leverage and make things lighter, but they do. It's like the deeper your roots, the more firm, and that's what you're doing. It's like you're diving into your roots. You're diving into those ancestral kind of maybe even experiences of learning what your ancestors, your relatives went through, so that you could be where you are today. There's something there. And then this is be playful. It's going to give you so much of more appreciation for what you have, and it's something that you really need right now to ground you. And then we have this energy came out way in the future, which is weird, which is know your worth. So a challenged sense of self, or a distance from who you are. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, because it's almost like learning things about yourself that you want to get rid of. You want to change. They don't work for you anymore, and you're not proud of them. And sometimes it's not about just like owning who you are. It's about owning who you've become that you aren't really. Let's get into your angel readings. You can slip on over to the extended tarot card reading anytime you want, Taurus. The link is below. Protection is the top card. You are safe. Do not fear. We are with you always and surround you always with our invisible wings of light. Positive thinking is vital in creating a healthy and abundant life. A positive attitude along with positive beliefs are thoughts are crucial ingredients for creating happiness. Don't worry. Think love. Vision. A positive outcome requires a positive vision. Visualize everyone involved in your present situation surrounded by light and love. Make sure to include yourself also. Your love has the power to influence and transform the current events. And what are they? That's a question for tarot. We're going to dive into that. Do it now. Don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition, for it is the guiding voice of your soul, which is why the struggle is real for you right now, because this is something that's taking you out of your comfort zone. Inspiration. A new idea comes to you like a gentle whisper inside your heart. Listen and take action. This inspiration is from high above. Gratitude. Make gratitude your new attitude. The stars will shine brighter upon you. All in your world will become lighter. I gotta get to the bottom of this. Hop on over to the Vimeo video with me over in the extended. The link is below. I'll see you guys over there.